local people, local news and events, local sports, local matters. For all things Lloydminster and area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us here at the Canadian Brewhouse for the Tuesday night sports show. We're excited to get you ready for the CPCA races this week at Halstead Downs as the CPCA gets ready to crown their 2025 champion on Sunday. Brynlee Hassan joins us, and she's the voice of the CPCA and has her pulse on what's been happening all season long. We also have Brad McMann and Danny Ringuette here, the number 1 and number 2 drivers in the CPCA this season, joining us tonight here at the Canadian Brewhouse. And of course, this is your go-to place for anything sports, especially Edmonton Oilers hockey, and we're not actually that far away from it. And if you like watching the Blue Jays win, well, they are pounding Pittsburgh right now. They're only through one inning, and they're already up 3-0. It's been a great year for the Blue Jays, and it's been a great year to be a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan. So all kinds of sports action here at the Canadian Brewhouse to take in. Of course, it's Taco Bout Tuesday as well. Taco Tuesdays means that you get a really good deal on tacos here at the Canadian Brewhouse, and I don't think we've had a nicer day in the city than we have today. It is hot, there's no wind, might be a perfect time to come out and enjoy the patio. We'll remind you right now at the new Lloydminster Nissan, you can get 0% financing on the incredibly popular Nissan Rogue, Nissan Sentra, or Nissan Kicks models, and they are also opening their service department at the new Lloydminster Nissan on Saturdays from 9 to 1. Well, Live with Kurt Price is excited to bring back Meals in the Fields for the 2025 harvest season. Get your nominations in now on our Facebook page, and your farm or a farmer that you know could win a delicious roast beef meal delivered right to them in the field, and that will be a terrific and hot lunch. Plus, new this year, one farm will win a harvest wrap-up party for up to 50 people. And each farm that's nominated will also be entered to win 160 acres of spraying from Bradley Air Spray. So we're teaming up with Farm Credit Canada, Diamond 7 Meats, the Tent Guys, Asset Link Heavy Equipment, Vical Agro, Sobeys, and Bradley Air to head out and thank our Midwest farmers this year. So get those nominations in on our page or any of our sponsor pages. SwiftNet.ca is now available in Lloydminster, Cold Lake, North Battleford, and surrounding communities. Get local internet that you can rely on with no data cap starting at just $39.99. And because they're local, you won't spend hours on hold anymore. It's unmatched customer service. Call 306-825-7111 today or visit swiftnet.ca. A couple of sporting notes as we get you ready for the weekend. The Lloydminster Motocross Club, they're hosting a huge shootout at the Lloydminster Motocross track this weekend. Dion Forget told us it's the final big race of the season with riders from all over competing this weekend.
It's a shootout race, they call it, so best of Saskatchewan, best of Alberta, they come and they meet here so they can have a shootout against each other. Yeah, that one brings in upwards of 500 race entries, so you'll get close to 1,000 people at the track. Wow. Once you have the fans and families, and yeah, it's a big one. So we get a lot of our money from the race weekends. So.
Entries $10 a day. Labus is looking for at least one more team for their annual Bunnock tournament. That happens in Kid Scotty on Saturday. Verna Haight told us with Labus that your team doesn't necessarily have to be the best, but they should come prepared to have a whole lot of fun if you're entering.
It costs $125.
That's it.
And that is it. It's a team of 4. We'll have beer gardens. We'll have food. We have fun. It's a fun game. There's prizes to be won, free giveaways. Yeah, it's just a fun day.
If you're wanting to enter a team, you can call or stop in at the Labus office. Time now for the Lloydminster Look Back. And with the CPCA Finals in Lloydminster, we go back to 1993 and the return of the Big Wagons to the Lloydminster exhibition for what was then the Northern Chuckwagon Association. And
Box and horn sounds there. Sonny Boy, Luke Tournier coming off a 3. Brian Lambert came off 2. Ryan Mitchell off a 4. Hits the track first. Oh, being Eccles race right on. Barrels are all up. What a tremendous start. Oh, wow, it's going to be a race. Down in the Wagons are just wheel to wheel as they go to the second corner. Leonard's mobile. Oh, Meadow Lake Travel Council, there's 2 wagons wheel to wheel. Leonard's mobile. Brian Lavercane, and on the outside of him, hey, wow, it's Aunt Jemima. No, Sarah. Oh, wow, just a minute, I'll get it. Sonny Boy Cereal, Ray Mitzwing, Meadow Lake Travel Council, and here comes Ray Crotto being our echoes. Oh, as they go to the third corner, Brian Lavercane, Leonard's mobile. On the outside of him, Luke Tournier with Sonny Boy Cereal. Here comes Ray Crotto being our echoes. Look at Ray Mitzwing. Meadow Lake Tribal Council. Around the corner and down the lane they come. Brian Lavercane, Leonard's mobile. He's in the lead coming down the lane. But look at Ray Crotto come on. Being our echo. Oh, Brian Lavercane being our echo. Luke Tournier, Sonny Boy. Ray Mitzwing, Meadow Lake Tribal Council.
St. Walburg's Brian Lavercane was the story of the finals, placing the top 2 times on Sunday, as well as the fastest total time over the 4-day event. More important than that, Brian Lavercane was the Northern Professional Chuckwagon Association season-long championship trophy winner, edging out Loon Lake's Ray Mitzwing.
I went out there with the intentions of taking day money. I wasn't going to hold back. I was just going to go for it rather than play it safe.
All those years of placing second and third and in the top 5 finally paying off. You are champion. It must feel great.
Oh, definitely. It's been a long time coming, but I guess some years of experience just prepare you for the pressure of this.
Another key race at the finals was the top 16 spots, with berths to the Calgary Stampede on the line. Grabbing the final 16th spot was Rod Solomon of Hudson Bay, who edges out his son Troy by just 6 points.
Oh, we've had a battle all the time since he started driving, and we got much the same horses out of the same bunch, so they run pretty close.
The finals marked the return of the Big Chucks to Lloydminster after an 8-year absence, and with the finals attracting over 15,000 fans over the 4 days, it appears the finals just may become a summertime tradition in the border city.
Yes, we're very pleased with how the whole event's turned out. It's been a tremendous success. It's brought a lot of people into the community. It's been a great event, a great show. The Chuckwagon people have just been a tremendous group to work with, and with the whole group as a package has just been great, and we're very pleased with how it's all turned out.
There were some key ingredients to the success of the finals. One of them was the central location of Lloydminster to the association, with so many drivers from throughout the area taking part. The organizing committee says there is a 99% chance that the finals will be back next year. Now, it's hard to imagine, but the finals may be even bigger and better. Greg Buchanan, News Hour Sports.
And a reminder to get your nominations in for Cupcakes for Caregivers just by sending us an email, livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. Nominate any healthcare professional or family member, just caregivers that you know that go above and beyond taking care of others. Tell us a little bit about them, put an email together, and send it to Cupcakes for Caregivers via livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. And thank you to Lloydminster Sobeys and the Lloydminster and District United Way for their sponsorship. And we'll have a new sponsor for you coming up in September. It's not just a name, it is Superior Water. Superior Water has 2 locations in Lloydminster, and they're open on Sundays to make filling your Big Blue jugs a whole lot quicker and easier. If you want great tasting water right from your tap, though, you can call Superior Water and ask about their under-the-sink reverse osmosis systems. 780-875-6636. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste, and after all, it is Superior Water. Open on 57th Avenue, Monday to Friday, 8 to 6. Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 5. Plus, of course, they have a coin-operated location right by 7-Eleven, just off Highway 17 South. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the CPCA Final and the CPCA season, which started off a little wet, but has really picked up the pace, and we'll get all the details when we come back here at the Canadian Brewhouse on Talk About Tuesday.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal, and that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with a Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Welcome back to the Canadian Brewhouse, where it's Taco Bout Tuesday. You can stop in and watch the Blue Jays tonight. And, of course, the Blue Jays having a great season, and they're up with the Pirates 5-0 right now. And this is your place for Edmonton Oilers hockey. It's also the place to come watch CFL. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders also having a fantastic season. BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. 1-833-246-8326. BioClean Disaster Services will take care of your property and your belongings, but more than that, they'll take care of you and your family. 1-833-246-8326 to get a hold of Lloydminster's local restoration company, which also happens to be Lloydminster's largest restoration company. 1-833-246-8326. Well, we welcome you here at the Canadian Brewhouse, where we are excited to have the number 1 and number 2 drivers in the CPCA right now. Brad McMann and Danny Ringuette are here respectively. And the lady who calls all the races and knows what is going on and has to talk about them each and every race and has done a great job all season long via Facebook is Brynlee Hassan. And Brynlee, how have things been going on via the Facebook this year rather than doing on the radio?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kurt. It was definitely a little bit of an adjustment. We had to learn how to work with some new technology and figuring out how that all was going to work and how we wanted to, kind of set up like you, run it live through the Facebook. But overall, we wanted to be able to give our fans and the wagon fans an actual look at the wagons, not just hearing them. To hear them on the radio was great. To have them on at the lake was one thing. But we wanted them to be able to actually go through, watch the whole show. If you can't make it to the track, it can still feel like you're there. So overall, there's been lots of good feedback on that, just being able to enjoy the races even when you can't get to them.
I mentioned before we went to commercial that you guys had a rocky start to it. It was you were wondering how many races you're going to get in this year because it was wet.
Yes, it was a little bit of an unfortunate start that way. We raced one day in Cold Lake and then track was deemed unsafe. You can only hold so much water on these tracks right before we got to put our equine athletes first, and we say it might not be the best conditions for them, so we ended up calling the races off in Cold Lake after one day of racing, and then we went down to Whitecap, Dakota. That's just south of Saskatoon, and same exact situation. For the state of Saskatchewan right now and how badly everybody's asking for rain, for some reason it just kept tracking us down, so we raced one day in Whitecap as well and then rained out there, and then we had one more in Batoche. We rained out the last day, which kind of put a hold on our Dash for Cash there. But otherwise, since then, the season has picked up some steam, and we've been smooth rolling ever since.
Brad, how frustrating is that to wait all year and then all of a sudden you can't run?
Yeah, it's tough. You spring train all spring, and you're getting these horses into certain races, and you're planning on these many days, and especially guys like Danny that's in Calgary, like he's wanting these days in to peak at the right time for Calgary, and it was tough for them guys. So,
how about you, Danny?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You got all these days. We were driving 2 wagons in Cold Lake and getting a lot of new horses in races and all that kind of stuff. So you're excited to get those horses in races, and when you can't race, it's you're still wondering, right? So and we're running for money. So when it comes down to it, you're only racing one day a weekend. You're not making money, so it's hard to go down the road too. So
yeah.
So if you don't race, you don't get paid?
No money, no.
Oh, yeah.
Same with our dash too. I think you were in that too.
Yeah,
we're both in the Batoche dash. Same thing, rain out, so no dash. So.
Yeah.
So no carbon tax this year. Has that lowered your cost a little bit?
Well, I heard we were getting paid good to come here, so
yeah. Everything goes up every year, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. Probably in the last 5 years, we've definitely doubled our expenses from 5 years ago. So it's tough. But, I mean, sponsorship is improving yearly, so hopefully we can just stay in that routine, too. So
you're finding sponsorship is okay?
Yeah, like it's good. We got a few locals that are teamed up together, and like I think you, Danny, kind of got a long term for most of the season, So, like, that's good. Like, you're starting to see guys jump on board with wagons for more than a show. So,
yeah. So we're watching the flashback and the look back, and they're talking about this is the return of the return to Lloydminster after 8 years. But they also started talking about, in order to do this, we may have to bring in an auction. It's interesting that now we've gone away from the auctions.
Yeah, it's
for the most part locally anyway.
It's a tough situation too. It's we spend all year trying to find sponsors and all that, and it's good in some ways and good and bad in some ways. It costs us a little bit of money to have the auction too. So we were just trying something different. Maybe in a few years we go to something else. But we're always open to new ideas and stuff. But I think we wanted to try this out for a little bit and see how it goes.
Brynlee, what was the season like after you got past and it dried up and things started going?
Yeah.
What was the CPCA season like overall? How competitive was it?
Well, it was really, really competitive. Brad's kind of taken away with some things here. He's on a bit of a tear for sure. But with the rainouts at the start of the season, it did kind of throw a different element to things where you'd get to the next show and the redraw seemed almost a little random. You'd be seeing guys lined up in heats where you wouldn't usually see them. And, if somebody's unfamiliar with it, the heat and the barrel draw goes based off of the CPCA standings, right? So it's supposed to be wagons that are well matched, all put together. But, you run one night somewhere and then we'd have, if you happen to knock a barrel that night, well, now you're way back in the barrel draw. So it kind of led to some fun races that way where you're seeing guys compete together that aren't usually in the same heat. But the start of the season, we had constant new winner. Danny won the Onion Lake show. We had Dallas, Dick, and Ryan Baptiste taking home show aggregates as well at the start of the year. And then we started to get to more Dash for Cash runs, right? Brad's won. Brad knows about the Dash for Cash. He's won a lot of them this year. So it has been a competitive year in that way where it's been back and forth. The last couple shows, Brad has run away with it. He's, what has it been, 4 shows now? Yeah. So he's been on his hot streak. But aside from that, the first half of the year was a lot of different faces coming up in the show wins and the Dash for Cash. So that's been exciting.
I think we had 5 different drivers win a show at the start. So
what's been going right for you, Brad?
Just things are starting to click now. We got a lot of new horses that are, like Danny said, we're getting them in the lineup. Like that one major team that's running hard for us. 3 of them are just 6 years old, so they're pretty young horses, and they've kind of fit in really quickly for their age, and things are just starting to click for us. So I think we'll just keep rolling with it. So.
And Danny, you've been pretty consistent all year.
Not the year that I really wanted this year.
Really?
I'm sitting second, but a lot of barrels this year. It's very weird for me. I think I hit more barrels this year than I did in the last 5.
Danny doesn't take penalties.
Yeah. I call him Mr. Consistency for a reason.
And he is.
But that being said, is that we've tried a lot of new things this year. I got a new lead team that I'm first year, or both our first year, so we've been trying them lots, and it's we got a young herd, so but it's still my fault. I'm not driving them like I should. So, but the last 3-4 shows we've been doing better. So it's just that end of the year where everything is starting to get used to it and stuff like that, and you're getting used to the new horses too, right? So
that's a big one.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot of driving and getting to know the horses too. So it's been a lot of fun in the same sense that you're breaking these new horses to hopefully next year be number one, right? So
like it's nice on them new ones, like Danny's saying, like it's so nice when they all click and work together, but you can't be too disappointed if they throw a bad trip the odd time, because they are learning too, and you're learning to drive them. So it's not always horse error, it's not always driver error. So, but when they do click, it's a nice feeling. So,
So we talk about new horses. Brynlee, people are going to see some new drivers.
Yeah, so we've got quite a few rookies on tour this year. We had a guy just starting up last weekend, getting sanctioned and hitting the road with us to Frog Lake. That was Phil Arcand. But we've got quite a few rookies. Chris No, Lane Kennedy, Garth Sanderson, and Ryan Galloway. They aren't, they know how to drive a wagon. They came to us from the pony wagons with, 30-some years of experience, both of them. But we also have brand new rookies, right? Lane Kennedy and Chris No, they're really fresh to the wagon box, and they're just getting things started. Dale Young, he's just a second-year driver. Same thing, he comes from the pony. So we've had a really successful year in that way, where we're filling up the roster a little bit more, and we're still getting guys into the sport. People are still being able to make that commitment, and that's really exciting.
I think we're seeing 3 wagon drivers sanctioned for next year this weekend here. So, like 3 new guys coming again. So,
how important is that for not just the CPCA, but for Chuckwagon racing overall?
Big time, yeah. We need to keep growing. So, I mean, there's some age out in the WPCA, and we're pretty young as a whole right now. But the WPCA's definitely got guys that are on their 5-year plan or whatever, maybe a couple-year plan when they're going out. So. Yeah, growth is very important.
And we've kind of been in a little downturn here with not as many drivers as we used to. I know when I first started in the CPCA, that's 12, 13 years ago, we had strong competition and a lot of wagons. We were running with 2 wagons. People couldn't run 2 wagons. So, right now, like, we have a lot of good young drivers. It's just we need more to make it more competitive and to make the sport sustainable.
What overall, I want to ask you guys about the health of racing overall. What we'll do, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the health of Chuckwagon racing. We'll also talk about the big change that's happening this year with semifinals Saturday out at the Lloydminster exhibition. And we've got some questions for Danny about the Calgary Stampede as well. And we want to talk about the return of Vern Nolan to the CPCA as well. There's lots going on, and it's going to be a fantastic week. Remember, there's also, you got High Limit playing at the Lloydminster exhibition on Saturday night with the Cabaret, and there's a pancake breakfast happening Sunday. Wagon Week is here. It may officially start tomorrow, but we're kicking it off tonight here at the Canadian Brewhouse, getting you ready for the 2025 CPCA Finals.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at L&A CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at L&A CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. L&A CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Welcome to Wellings of Lloydminster, in a community of ageless explorers. At Wellings, age is but a number and adventure is part of the day. Come experience carefreedom living at Wellings of Lloydminster, where adults 55 plus enjoy a vibrant, stress-free way of life with a whole lot of fun. You can stop in and say hello to their new general manager, Nicole, at 7211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side of Lloydminster. And visit wellingsoflloydminster.com for more. Wellings of Lloydminster, carefreedom living starts here. We want to welcome you back inside the Canadian Brewhouse, where we have the voice of the CPCA. Brynlee Hassan joins us. We also have the two leaders of the CPCA, Brad McMann's in first, and Danny Ringuette, despite not having the best year, he says, is still sitting in second place. So we're excited to have everybody here, and we're excited for Wagon Week. This is one of the best weeks. Myself and Heather will be hosting the main stage again this year. We always look forward to that. And Brad has brought me a bunny hug. Yes, I'm from Saskatchewan. I know you're from Chauvin, so you might not call it a bunny hug. I still call it a bunny hug because I grew up in Saskatchewan. Are you throwing these this year? Can I catch one of these this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I asked you guys before we went to the break, though, about the overall health of the sport. And, the return of some drivers has me optimistic. Does it have you guys optimistic? Because you guys mentioned yourselves, we've seen a little bit of a downturn.
Yeah, I would say, as far as wagon racing in general, I come from the pony chuck wagon world. So, they're in a downturn, too. And a lot of guys are questioning, we're seeing, the Phil Arcans come, where it's let's make that next jump, or because they're in a tight spot too. They're growing slow and they're losing more old guys than what they're gaining. So we're seeing a transition of a lot of pony guys that are taking the leap in the next couple of years. So, that's a good thing. But yeah, we are at a downturn right now. But I feel we've hit that bottom and starting to climb again. So it is looking good.
You feel the same way, Dan?
Yeah, we are. I hope it's on an upturn. Like Brad said before, though, the cost of living has gone up. The cost of everything has gone up. And I don't blame people for not starting up, because unless you have a big sponsor, it's hard to get into this sport, and it's harder to find thoroughbred horses. It's harder to go down the road with fuel and it's everything. So, that's why sponsorship is so important. That's what gets us down the road. That's what makes us put the show on for everybody that comes and watches. We can't do it without our sponsors. But there's getting to be more money, and lots of these places are really stepping up to the plate and providing us with a little bit more money. But it's so tough. It is, unless you know somebody or have $1 million, it's hard to get started. It is. So I hope we're on the upward swing, but time will tell.
The crowds are incredible in Calgary. They're just amazing. The prices were up this year in the auction. So there's some good things happening out there.
Yeah, for sure. And you see racing. We have a couple new shows this year, and we have a couple towns that have already approached us for next season of interest. So there is some good fall negotiations coming up that you might see us in a couple more new towns for 2026. So I think the growth is there, and maybe we lose one or two of our old-time shows, but sometimes new is good too, right? So.
Yeah, Batoche has been an awesome ad, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny when you go to Batoche, they say there's 40 to 50,000 people that go through the gates there. And the crowd there is phenomenal. I think last year was the first time in the crowd that I seen the wave ever happen at a Chuckwagon race.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and they love it there, and it's a fun show, and it's great to be there.
Yeah, I think night one I had like 10 items, and I literally every bleacher I threw one, and I was like out right away. So we had to like restock, like double. And every single bleacher, doesn't matter whether you finish first or last, they give you a cheer like you're a champion. Like so, it was pretty fun to see that crowd. They're into it, and they're in talks of rebuilding their entire racetrack right now. So just so we can have long term there. So
that's
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Those kind of things give you optimism. But I'm with you, Danny. Like even when we talk about why aren't CFL football games selling out, and why isn't this? It costs more to go.
Yeah.
Everything costs more. It just costs more to travel. Yeah. Like a hotel is like $200 now.
Exactly.
Like what happened to the $100 days, right?
Yep. Exactly.
You know, like everything is just costing more. Danny, can you take us through your Calgary Stampede this year? And I think. Honestly, I think CBC and Sportsnet, they do an amazing job of that broadcast.
They really do. It'd be optimistic to think that we could have more than one Calgary, because that is an unreal show, and they do a really good job and very professional. And, it's a busy, we're there for 14 days, not just 10. We get there the Tuesday before, and we're there for 14 days. And it's a lot of work, I'll tell you that much. We walk horses twice a day, and you have box stalls there. You don't have your own barn, so it's a little bit different. We have a big crew, so they do a phenomenal job. And by day 3, you have shin splints, and then by day 5, you're hitting your third wall. So it's or your third, whatever that is. It's the show that we all want to be at. It's where we make our money. It's the Stanley Cup of wagon racing. That's what we all, as truck wagon drivers, that's what we all want to win. You want to win the Calgary Stampede. And that's what Brad said earlier. Like, it would be nice to have those race days before to get ready. Those guys already raced 20 days before we raced 4 or 5, so I didn't really know what I had in the barn going into Calgary, but we figured it out. And we had one bad day where hit a couple barrels, but for the most part we were right in the mix. We were from 12th to 15th, 16th every night almost. So it was a good stampede. I'd change a few things looking back, but that's wagon racing.
It's such a strange sport, and that I'm not saying the championships don't mean things, but you're right. Calgary is the Stanley Cup, and it seems so early in the CPCA and the WPCA seasons that it's so strange to have this is the big thing, and then bang, it's over. What's the rest of the year like, Danny?
Well, that's the thing, is that the WPCA has 5 shows before Calgary, so that's their mid-season show, where that was our 3rd show. So I think we got to do things a little different in our association to not start so late. But that's already been
in the works.
Yeah, in the works. But it's those guys are in top physical shape going into Calgary. Like, they're peaking. Those horses are peaking going into Calgary.
Yeah. How was things at Poundmaker while things were going on in Calgary? How were those races?
Good. Like, it was a substitute of the NACC that used to be hosted in Lloyd. It was a first-year show, so, there's growing pains with that, but it was good, and I think it's their 150th year, if I remember right, next year, so they're wanting to do another thing with more days, more prize money, and you know what? It's a good show for the guys that don't get into Calgary too, right? So it helps them get their bills straightened up, and it's a good pay. So, and it gives you the opportunity to try some of those young ones like we did there, too, that helped us out in the second half of the season, right? So we ran 2 wagons there, and same thing like Danny ran 2 wagons at Cold Lake to try some stuff, so we kind of knew where we're at. We did that. We used Poundmaker for that for us this year.
and I just like to add, like, hats off to Poundmaker for putting that show on when we needed something for the guys that weren't in Calgary. That's what makes Chuckwagon racing sustainable. Is them guys putting on those shows like that, and really helping us out. And good job.
Yep.
Danny, you've become a mainstay of Calgary. Like, you just take it for granted now. Every year you're going to get invited to Calgary.
No, I do not take it for granted. I just hope that they keep taking guys from the CPCA, and that's a big reason. Like, I'm still racing here. I want the CPCA to grow, and I want it to get better, and I want more guys going to Calgary. We have a good base of guys starting and growing here, and I'd like people to stay. I don't like traveling, so I like being home. So that's why I'm staying with the CPCA, and guys like Brad, he deserves to go to Calgary. And I hope he really gets the invite this year.
Yeah, and that's one reason why we changed that to semifinals Saturday too. We're opening up, instead of 3 wagons to get into that dash, we're opening it up to 6. And you see that battle from 9th on, and you see it in the WPCA where those guys, once Calgary's over, they start hooking their new hooks and start thinking of next year. Well, our guys have invested in some horsepower in those 10th, 9th, 8th holes to try and get into that 6th spot. So it's made us more competitive as a whole club, and I see a bright future for it. And you know what? The top 6 deserve to have a chance to run off for that $25,000 at the end. So I like the future, and I think that might get us a few more spots eventually down the road into Calgary because of it. So,
is it a case of, like, it used to be when the top 4 was, there was usually one place set, but now you're running 6 all of a sudden. Does it put more pressure on the top drivers like yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, we virtually probably got a spot in there potentially for the top 6 anyway, and we still got to hook our big guns, because they're all hooking their best to try and knock us out, which can easily happen. So.
And I don't know if about the pressure. Like, I think that you go into every race with that pressure. I think that if you're in the top 6, well, go enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that raced in Chuckwagon racing that never got to experience to be in those situations. So just go enjoy it, and it'll be what it'll be, and hopefully you win. And if you don't, well, just plan for next year.
Like, we've battled all year to get into those 6 spots, right? So, I mean, those last 2 races, you're just going out there and having fun. It is what it is. I mean, at that point, the work's over. Now it's time to have fun.
And that's the beauty part, is that you just go and just enjoy it. That's Chuckwagon racing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Chuckwagon racing is about.
Definitely.
So, Brynlee, with these 2 guys being in that last heat that we're going to see starting tomorrow night, who else do we got to keep an eye on? Like, who I'm asking you to pick a winner here with the 2 guys right here. There's a little bit of pressure on you now, but who are we watching this year?
I think the guys sitting even top 8 right now, I'd keep an eye on as you get kind of closer down. Like, Brad's got a pretty significant lead. Danny and Ryan were just kind of doing the 2-step to switch around as of last weekend, and Danny's got himself into 2nd place. But when we kind of look down the line, we've got guys, so Colby Stanley, he's rounding up that top 6. That as we sit right now, if we went to semifinal Saturdays tomorrow, that's our top 6. But we've got a couple days of racing yet to kind of make their last move. And if you're sitting, when I was looking at the numbers, the top 8 are that's kind of the cutoff for where I think the math checks out, where they could still maybe make a jump, and it might take somebody ahead of them knocking a barrel. But like these guys say, that's Chuckwagon racing. It's so unpredictable, and just when you think, oh, this guy's got it in the pocket, that's when things go squirrely or whatever. So those guys sitting there, Dale Young, Calvin Fiddler, Robbie Ethier, they're just on the outside of that bubble right now, but they've got almost enough points to jump in there. The guys that are sitting, to the bottom of the top 6, Colby, Vern, Dallas, those guys, they need to really have their A game on to hang on to those spots.
I can't believe we're talking to Danny Ringuette and Brad McMann about being veterans of CPCA racing. I remember when you guys were the new drivers on the block.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
CPCA does a great job of bringing new drivers in and being there for them, though, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's a growing stage too. I mean, you see young guns over in the WPCA that started out here. Like even if you go back to the Chris Molleys or the Preston Faithfuls this year, right? Like, and so it's good. Yeah, like there's some good wagons, and with this semifinal, I'll bet you'll see more wagons from the WPCA come over next year to try and qualify to be in that top 6. Like maybe they're in that 10th to 15th hole right now in the WPCA, but they can crawl into that top 6 in the CPCA and have a run for the title. So,
like if they run here?
Yeah, so I think you'll see some of them come over from the Worlds, to be honest.
The CPCA, not just here.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole tour.
Yeah, the whole tour for the whole season next year.
Oh, right. Come over to more races
Yeah.
and things like that.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those guys in the top 6 is Vern Nolan.
Yeah.
How much of a shock was it to see Vern come back to the CPCA?
Yeah, so Vern's been retired for about 2 years now. He kind of made his last run at Calgary a couple years ago and did his big wave in front of the crowd and packed it up. And he was telling us there he had a show aggregate win in Beardy's in Okomasis, and we got to talk to him a little bit and catch up. And, you know, what happened? They got you back in the wagon box. And he was saying last year he went and he watched the Frog Lake show because they're from Dewberry, and so it's not too far down the road. They're watching, and then he got to chatting with Dwayne Antoine, and Dwayne was, you know, he drove in the wagon box for a while there, and he's kind of done his driving career, but he still wants to be in the sport. So he's got his Antoine Racing. He's got the horses, he's got the barn, he's got everything. It's all Dwayne's. And Vern just gets to go and get in the wagon box, and he gets to do the driving. So they've got a cool little partnership there. That's a different kind of unique opportunity. It brings another driver here into the CPCA and another really experienced driver. So that's been really, really, you know, lucky and fortunate for us to have, you know, just one more guy on the roster that knows what he's doing, and it's great to have our rookies, and it's great to have guys out of retirement. So it's been really nice having Vern here and throwing one more guy that's a really high caliber competitor into the mix.
We're almost at the end of the season. Brad, are you thankful it's the end of the season? Like, are you, like, because you spend so much time going down the road, like Vern Nolan, it sounds like, you know, he wants to come back, but it's so much work. I remember I asked Daryl Sutter one time when he wasn't coaching, you know, would he come back and coach? He said, if I didn't have to go on the road, I'd come back in a heartbeat. But you guys are on the road all the time. Like, is there a certain point where you get to and you're like, I'm ready for the season to be done? You must get exhausted. Like Danny's talking about Calgary's 10 days of just throwing heat at you and rain at you and everything.
Yeah, totally. And I was joking around with a good buddy, actually, Preston Faithful, this week, and we were sitting in his hometown at Frog Lake, and he was kind of homesick that he wasn't there, and it was kind of the end of the season for them, and they're played out, and I just need to get home, and it's played out. And well, he had 2 sleeps and thought about it, and he's like, maybe I just better come to Lloyd and come race with you for a weekend. So he's packed up and he's on his way here. So yeah, I mean, a weekend off is always nice, but it feels like we go right from shut off the end of the wagon box and start shopping for horses shortly after. So it's a weekend off, and then back you got everything on your mind of what's going on for next year. So,
and Danny, are you kind of done after Calgary?
You know, it's hard because for us, we were home for a day and a half after Calgary, then we were on the road to Batoche. So I was pretty fatigued after that, and it's hard to catch up. But you know, I'm kind of the same way where I'm ready to be done, but in a week then I'll be ready to race again. You just need that week off, right?
Yeah.
Plus, like in 2 weeks after this, I'm getting married, so we got a busy 10 days to plan for our wedding at the farm. So
I'm sure you do.
You're
getting married at the farm. Yes, you do then.
His to-do list is big.
Yeah, I was going to say when we got married, I didn't do much, but but I didn't have to move equipment around the farm or anything to get it ready either. But, you mentioned Preston Faithful coming back. Jackie was on the show from the Lloyd exhibition. She kind of hinted there might be some WPCA drivers. Brynlee, do we know who's coming?
I don't have a solid list because I know it's kind of gone back and forth. Brad might know a little more. He's one of our directors.
Yeah, so we got one of the Solomons, Wade Solomon's coming back, and then we have Todd Baptiste will be coming as well. And then we have Preston Faithful coming. Who are the other guys?
DJ.
Oh, yeah, DJ King's coming back for the weekend. And then Kurt Bensmiller from Dewberry will be coming as well. So, yeah.
Those are pretty big names that everybody's familiar with.
For sure, yeah, it's going to be fun, and it'll be good. They were excited to come for a weekend, so we have the Outrider pens completely full of WPCA and CPCA guys, so it should make for a good mix-up there. So,
what am I forgetting about the season, and am I forgetting to ask anything that you guys... I know you guys want the stands packed.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of the invites for the WPCA. I mean, it's a hometown show for a lot of these guys too. Like even Wade Solomon. I mean, he's out eastern Saskatchewan, but he'll have a lot of family coming here just to hang out for the weekend because it's a hometown show for him, kind of. So
yeah,
Preston's Frog Lake, Kurt's Dewberry. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend of racing. It'll be busy back in the barns with having some fun. So,
anything we're forgetting, Danny?
No, I just I'd like to throw a shout out to my sponsor, Superior Concrete Pumping. They sponsor me all year, and 54 North Power Sports out of Bonnyville, and Decker Oilfield. They're sponsoring a day here in Lloyd. So no, thank you to all them guys. They keep us going down the road, and it's exciting to get to the finals here and see what we can do.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Showtime Big Rig Repair. They pretty much stayed with us the whole season, and Bart over at Tirecraft Lloydminster. I mean, he's been with us from the very beginning. So I mean, that's a long-time supporter, and Arcan Construction last weekend. So I mean, there's been a few new ones jump on board, but Showtime's taken over, and it's been a really nice year for us. So
awesome. Yeah. And Brynlee, are you going to have the races on Facebook?
Yeah, so we get started tomorrow. That's Wednesday. The races are going to kick off. We're going to race, like we were talking about, those first couple days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday is going to be the semifinal Saturday, where things are going to really kind of get down to business. And then, of course, the big Canadian Championship Dash is going to be on Sunday. We go live nightly on Facebook. You get the full coverage and the commentary on the races. You get the whole show every single night. You can, if you're looking for official times, if you're looking for information, location, any of it, it's all available on cpcaracing.com. And then the races are broadcast live to our Facebook page, which is also CPCA Racing.
It's great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Brynlee.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kurt.
Brynlee set this up for us, so we really, really appreciate Brynlee doing that as well. We're back with you tomorrow morning. We've got a couple things on the go. We're talking to Focus Vermilion. They've got their street party coming up very, very shortly. And we're also going to talk about the Terry Fox Run tomorrow, which is moving locations in Lloydminster. So we got a big show coming up tomorrow morning. And then I think Brynlee's going to try to join us on Thursday morning to talk more about the races and stuff like that as well. It's a huge week. Go out and enjoy the races. If you have the opportunity to go all week, then do so. If you can go and get to know some of the drivers at the Pancake Breakfast, do that. They're easy people to talk to. And of course, you got the cabaret with High Limit on Saturday night as well. Wagon Week is huge for Lloydminster. It's huge for the CPCA. And we thank these gentlemen, Danny Ringuette, Brad McMann, and of course, Brynlee Hassan as well, for coming in to see us tonight. Enjoy the races, everybody.